Ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit.
Hey, what's up, guys? I cut that on time is short. I'm working on a song for this little podcast segment. This is the Knicks off-topic podcast. We got Leo Valentin should be popping in anytime soon, and we got I am JERRELL in the background. So let's get right into it, man. It's good. I am JERRELL. How you
What
doing,
up, what
man?
up, what up? Peace, peace, peace. Salute to everybody. Salute to the chat. Salute to all the diehards, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Salute to everybody that popped in a little earlier. We had a little technical difficulties trying to get our audio and stuff together, man. It always happens,
Right,
right? You
right,
doing
right, right.
pods?
All the time, man. Like I'm having an issue with my monitors here now. I'm only working with one monitor for the most part.
Yeah.
I usually got two.
Yeah, so Jerome brought up the things that like if you guys have issues with the audio or something like that, or if you're in the chat right now and you hear the audio, just let us know how we sound, and then we'll adjust it accordingly. See if we can make things a little bit better. Right now, I definitely can hear myself out my mic, so everything should be good on my end.
Where
Like
you,
I said,
you
Leo's having little difficulties on his end too, so he should be here soon.
cool, cool. You sound good on my end, like you're good, but it depends on the chat. Like, see if they can hear you.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, man. So what's going on with you, bro? How you been since the last time I spoke to you?
Nothing, man. Another week of family man stuff. The same thing everybody else going through. At least people like you and Lee. Same old, man. Nothing really happened. Oh, we got an echo now.
You got an echo?
Yeah, I heard an echo.
Well,
But now I think it's gone.
well, it's my man Lee. Let's see
Oh,
if Lee,
okay.
if Lee, we can see Lee here. Hey, Lee, man, can you hear us?
I don't know.
Mr. Lee?
I don't think so.
Nah. We'll,
Nah.
we'll try him again, but Lee is definitely trying his hardest to get up
Right.
in here.
right. It's
You know what
like,
I'm saying?
it's like the sixth time that he kept bleeping in and out on the broadcast even before we started. But yeah, same old, man. We found out that we finally got as a Knicks fan, we finally got the our pick. We got the 11th pick. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that. But other than that, nothing really changed.
Well, you always mention that we're family men and stuff like that, man. So
hmm
you ever experienced family court? Just you and your lady. Did you ever have another
Um,
lady, a kid outside the marriage?
Fortunately, no, I have not. I'm one of the lucky ones, bro. Like I haven't had any type of drama when it comes to my relationships usually.
Okay, but I've had my share of it, man. But
Okay.
I need to put this on the screen. Do you have any idea what this is? What I'm showing you right now?
Yeah. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard said, yeah,
Yo,
Johnny Depp is hilarious, man. Yeah, I've been checking that out.
yo, the young lady that he's with, this Amber Heard, she is
Yeah,
nuts,
she
bro.
crazy, bro.
Oh my God,
But
man.
don't get me wrong, it's like he a little crazy too, but she crazy.
Yeah, they both are nuts.
Yeah, they
But
both nuts.
my thing is like who was recording all this shit? Like all these wild conversations they've been having. Who is recording that stuff, man?
Hey, man, when you're rich, I guess anything can happen.
Yeah. So it looks like Lee could hear us as he laughed. I could see him laughing back there. So Lee, let us know if you can hear us and stuff.
Yeah, man, it's just the black screen right here, but we can see him like in the background though.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll leave him there for a second. If he can hear us, he'll just pop in. So I'm gonna just play. I'm gonna play this little clip here, man. This shit bugged me out. I don't know, make sure you guys can hear it. But this is bugged out.
Ms. Heard, you remember during Mr. Depp's examination, a number of recordings were played, correct?
That's correct.
And in one of those recordings, you told Mr. Depp, quote, "I hope to God Jack's stepfather teaches him more about being a man than your fucking left nut." End quote. Do you remember
Like
that?
what?
I do not remember.
You're
what
fucking left
exactly
nut? Like
that
what
recording.
the
I
hell is
remember
going on?
I heard myself make a mention of Jack's new stepfather or potential stepfather. I can't recall.
Jack
They're
is
both
Mr. Depp's son,
actors
right?
and stuff like
That's
that. So
correct. And I
you
believe
know
I was
they can
referencing
like
a
change
marriage that his
their whatever,
ex-partner
or they
was
can
going
just
to
be
have
Exactly.
stone
or
faced because they're
getting
just like
into his
trained
spouse.
actors. But this is too much, man. Like
You
it's
were
been like
Exactly.
months already
that
now with this bullshit.
Jack's new stepfather would teach him how to be a man because Mr. Depp couldn't.
I don't recall exactly what I said, but it was something to that
Yeah,
effect.
I want to
Let's
get to the
listen
part
to
where
some of
they
what
start
happened
playing the
before he
actual
stepped
audio
out
because she
to
starts
Mr.
starts
Depp. If we could
using
please
my
play
special
Plaintiff's
phrase.
Exhibit
Yeah,
397, which is
I
written
heard it.
evidence.
You heard it
And for
before?
the record,
I heard
it's
it
at
earlier.
3504 through
Yeah, I just pray that everybody
3547.
listening, Knicks
And
fans
then the
or
next clip
whoever
is
fans of you are, man, I
3675
hope you never go
through
through this, man. And if you have gone
4308.
through it, man, like I have, then you already know. They're gonna start playing it now. It's crazy to me, man. They're getting into it.
Everything's fine until it doesn't go your way. And then when it doesn't go your way, I'm in trouble.
She's telling him to suck your own dick.
I don't need you. I don't want you kind of woman. I don't want
Now
you
she's
kind
saying
of
suck my
woman.
dick.
I don't want you kind of woman.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Like it don't stop with that shit, man. Like you say you never been through it, man. I've been through it where I've been in court where she was like accusing me of all this crazy stuff, and he just let me take it off the background. Yeah, so she's like she was accusing me of all kind of stuff like that, like beating my kids, beating her, and all kind of wild stuff, man. So I just pray that nobody ever has to go through all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I know a lot of people that actually have been through it, but fortunately, I've not been through that stuff. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, man. I'd like to hear what Lee had to say about it.
It's just weird. When I listen to Johnny, you ever see Johnny Depp on there though?
Yeah, he goes crazy too.
He create like all the dramatics and stuff. He's really Jack Sparrow up there, bro. Like he act a little crazy himself, man. Like the dramatics that he got up there, it's crazy.
Well, he says it too. The whole reason behind this whole case, is that he really loves Jack Sparrow, right? So they're supposed to be doing another sequel, but now since this is going on, she accused him of abuse and stuff like that. Right. Disney dropped him, so that's his baby, right. And they're planning on like casting like a female to take over his character and all kind of stuff, So he's like fighting for the right to get his character back because he loved the character. Yeah. So I mean, I get it, man. So like me and State probably gonna come on tonight and talk a little bit about just some the centers. We're gonna talk about the centers today. But like say like a guy like Julius Randle, Julius Randle, he done screwed his character up, so now he has to go through that process of trying to fix his what was going on this year and try to get everyone to believe him again or whatever. Not just the Knicks, just other franchises too if they're looking to trade for him and stuff like that.
Yep, this is like a redemption year for Julius Randle. Because everybody saw the way he acted, even people that not involved with the Knicks. That was almost like a league-wide thing. People recognized what he did last year.
Yeah,
like that was a big story. The way that we fell backwards, that was a big story, and everybody know he's our best player. So it was on him and Tibbs, obviously.
Yeah,
but Tibbs already got the respect for the league. Julius Randle doesn't. That's the point.
Right.
So people are always going to question Julius Randle more than Tibbs.
Well, they'll blame us too, They'll blame that's just MSG, the stress of the fans. The fans did that to him. It's hard to play in New York and that type of thing. So people still they love Julius Randle. They think of Julius Randle, not for nothing. I think you said it, like a three power forwards in the league, average 20, 10, and 5.
Right.
So regardless if we lost or not, you still can't really like mimic that type of production.
Right. He's still very talented. It's just do you want the headache with the talent?
Right. I don't know, man. I'm glad that we're getting close to it. So I mean, the NBA playoffs tonight, Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. As currently constructed, I think we still got a shot to beat either team. I think even though Tom Thibodeau's offense, yeah, I think so. I'm just throwing it out there. Like if let's say if we played them in the playoffs, either team, I think we have a good chance of beating them. We probably would lose to either one, but I think we have a good chance of beating them, especially Boston. What do you think?
I think we have a better chance of Boston than Miami. I don't think we have a chance with Miami. I think their defense is a little bit too intense for us. I don't know. I think we're kind of like on two different timelines. Like our kids probably a little bit too young to hang with them two teams in particular. Like I'm don't even know if we could be better than Charlotte next year.
I think so, Charlotte.
Yeah, like we still got don't get me wrong. Atlanta had a down year, but we got to worry about the teams that are actually, towards the bottom of the playoff rankings. Let alone Miami. Like once you start getting that we could beat Miami and the Sixers with Embiid and Boston, then a couple of our players have to have a very, very big jump for that.
Yeah, I get you, man. I feel like a lot of teams are basically in the same boat. Even the ones that did make the playoffs. You're talking about the Heat, the Celtics, the Bucks, 76ers. All these guys are like in flux. The Toronto Raptors, The Bulls, Nets. The Bulls might get rid of Levine. The Nets might eventually trade Kyrie. The Hawks are
Hmm.
down here. You got Cavaliers that showed something. So all these teams are like they easily could take one step back or two steps forward, two steps backwards.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm scared of like the Hornets and the Cavs. Like I'm more worried about those two because they're just as young as we are, but they are ahead of their roster development, I should say.
You think so?
Yeah, except for like Julius Randle, we can't really hang our hat on anybody right now except for who RJ, and if RJ is considered your best player, he will not. We're not going to leapfrog the Cavs or the Hornets.
Yeah,
Not right
that's hard.
now.
That's tough, man, because a lot of Knicks fans will probably shoot you in the chest for saying something like that because they think RJ is going to be the next one. 21 years old. He's only 21,
Right.
motherfucker. Fuck
But
you
but
clown.
like he still got to crawl before he walked though. Like other than the playoff series against Atlanta last year, RJ hasn't really, he hasn't accomplished anything yet. Doesn't have any accolades. I'm not saying that he can never get there, but until he actually get there, yeah, I'm worried about Cleveland and Charlotte. They got young players over there too. They got some dogs over there on both teams.
Right.
We still worried about if Cam will pop or Obi will pop or if IQ is still a point guard. Like we have too many questions on our team for that.
Well, Tom Thibodeau, you can't wait to get Rose back. If we had Rose back,
Right, that's what I'm
then
saying. And plus we have Tibbs as our coach, so
right.
yeah, I don't see us leapfrogging anybody. I have to see it first. I have to see how our young kids develop for the next go round next year, especially before the All Star break. Because if none of them actually pop before the All Star break, then somebody like Tibbs either gonna get fired or somebody's gonna get traded. Something has to happen. They can't just roll out the exact same players and play the exact same way and expect us to actually have different results. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, definitely. Tom Thibodeau is, you got to blame him for. I think we went like what 3 of 17 or something like that during one loss. I forgot what the exact record was, but we lost a lot in like a 2 month span.
Right.
That's something that just destroyed the season. If we would have just been mediocre during that time, we would have made the playoffs.
Exactly. February was killer for us. I think we only won like 2 or 3 games the whole month.
Yeah. Then the next month didn't really help us much either.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that all these teams are basically like around the same thing. Because I mean, if the Knicks won half of those games, we would be right there, 43, 44 wins. And that's basically from the 7 to the 10 mark right there.
Yeah,
All
that's
the
true.
same record basically.
Yeah, that's true. We just have to play better down the stretch, fourth quarters. We all know like our deficiencies and stuff. We need a point guard. Like all these teams have point guards.
Right.
At least the ones on the bottom.
All right. Well, what about the guys on the top? What do you think about the Celtics?
See, that's the thing. See, you think we're not that close from the Celtics? No, like we're not beating the Celtics in a 7 game series. Not the way we're constructed now. Because what RJ would have to go against Tatum, obviously. He was going to have Evan Fournier going against Jaylen Brown and Alec Burks going against Marcus Smart, who just won Defensive Player of the Year, and I don't even know if Mitch can outplay Robert Williams at this point.
Well, who's guarding Julius Randle?
That kid Grant Williams, he's doing a pretty good job in guarding everybody. If he can guard KD and Jimmy Butler and switch off to Bam Adebayo sometimes, he could play Julius Randle. And the way Julius Randle played in the playoffs last year, it's not like he got to do much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
That dude has been playing pretty good, man. That Williams kid.
Yeah, he plays defense, shoot the three. That's all they need him for. Like if they don't need him to score that many points. Like he can just play Randle and frustrate him. All you gotta do is frustrate Randle. He'll be and like they'll be fine.
The Knicks offense is what destroys us too, man. It just we just got Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
The Miami Heat to me is my favorite team. I hate to say it, but just basketball wise, they just a really good team, and they're not even like talent wise. They just have a lot of talent, but nothing that really blows you away. Jimmy Butler, is who he is, but he's not so great, of a player. He's showing signs. He had like 40 points the other night. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and then what's his number 2? Bam Adebayo. What's his number 3? You got Lowry over there. Oladipo. Yeah, Tyler Hero's there. Tyler Hero's not playing tonight, they said.
I don't think Jimmy Butler not playing either. I don't think he hurt his knee, right?
Oh shit! So I mean, they'll be in trouble. So I mean, you see what I'm saying? You get into a series with these guys, you might have a chance to win with if the Knicks are playing them.
Yeah, that's true. True. I don't want to bet on injury though. Like if their two best scorers are out, yeah, you definitely have a chance. But Miami's a tough team, like you said, and you got to think about the coaching aspect of the game. Like in the 7 game series, you got Tibbs versus Spo. Who you going with?
Spo all day,
So,
man.
so that's what I'm saying. Like I think things will have to happen in order for us to deal with teams like that, and getting rid of Tom Thibodeau is probably one of them in the long run.
Yeah, in the long run. I think that would be like the most aggravating thing. Like, let's say if the Knicks started, and then we just come out with the same group, and then we started the season slow, and then it doesn't seem like we're gonna come out of it. And then
Right.
like once we just start close to Christmas, and the season is already look like it's over already, I would be that. I think that to me would break me. I think.
Right. Because like as it stands now, Derrick Rose will probably still be our starting point guard in the beginning of the year, and Burks will be the backup with IQ. IQ and Burks probably splitting the backup duties, unless when and if Rose get hurt again.
That's crazy, man. So I mean, how do we be fans of the team? There's a lot of guys on Twitter. Twitter's always a reference. Everybody on Twitter is saying that, oh, you got to be patient. Oh, you want to do this, that, and the other. Oh, we got to build the right way. They're talking all that shit, man. But once this stuff hits the fan, these same guys is telling us that to be quiet and to chill out and stuff. They the main ones. They're gonna be complaining too. They're gonna be yelling and screaming and complaining too, just like how we are.
That's true. I guess maybe because they feel like they kind of feel helpless as fans. Like, what can you possibly do? Like, you can scream to your top of your lungs, but that don't mean they're going to do anything.
Right.
It's just hopefully they do. Hopefully they hear us. It's like if we had a big enough like an outroar of Tibbs, I think he'll get fired eventually. The only thing with Tibbs is kind of like split half and half. Like half of the fans want him gone, half of the fans want him here because of camaraderie and stuff like that, which I understand too. So I guess it just depends on your way of thinking. But if the fans are going to be split, like he's not going anywhere.
Right. But at the same time too, man. Like the fans could be split. Towards the franchise, and the franchise could hear us. Maybe whispers in the locker room, that type of thing. But it's just annoying that amongst us. Like say like you could just be like a random guy on Twitter just saying, oh, you guys need to this and that. I hate fans like this, and it's like a big thread. Everybody's calling each other names and this that, and the other. So yeah, but who are you to tell other fans how to be a fan?
Right.
That's what always irks me about this whole fandom stuff, man. Because I mean, I could have my opinion. I could say anything I want. I could say that Allen Iverson was the greatest player to ever play the game. Like, man, fuck you. Who cares? Who cares? That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
In turn for the Knicks, you got to think about like how many people we have as fans. Though we have the biggest fan base in the league.
Yeah.
So because of that, like you're always going to get your outliers, whether whether you're on the side of keeping Tibbs or not. You're always going to have the people that go to the extreme on both sides.
Yeah. Shout out to Knicks fan Brazil, man, because he gives a podcast in freaking Portuguese, for Christ's sake, and he's legit in freaking Brazil doing a podcast talking about the Knicks, and he has his own opinion, very strong opinion about certain things too. He comes up from the '90s era. He loves the Ewing and things of that nature. So he has his own opinion. So I mean. Like the world is super big, man. There's so many different ways of thinking. Like for people to go, just like just all that infighting. So I just can't deal with it, man.
Right.
I mean,
it's like somebody all the way from Brazil, having content about the Knicks. Like you got to respect that, regardless if you agree or disagree with, any of the takes or whatever. Like you have to respect that. Like that's a fan. That's a real fan. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, and you do like Amber Heard and start telling people to suck your dick, and then suck your dick and my dick too. You know what I'm saying? I'm known for saying that to people sometimes, man. I'm trying to calm down from that talk because it takes you there. It takes you there. I told you a couple things offline too, man.
I know you use the animal, man. You gotta stop letting stuff trigger you like that.
But it happens, man. People don't know how to act online. Like if you meet people in person, they're not going to be acting the same way as when they act online. But you got to remember what you say to people. You got to remember the energy that you was given. You got to remember that because not everybody keeps the same energy all the time. Some people really, if they tell you something like this, they really mean it. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, you got to think about how old we are, though. I mean, that's just the way we grew up. That's the way we were raised. Like that's not really the social media era anymore. Like we don't own this era.
Right.
They were pretty much guests, to be honest.
Yeah, but look how they treat Julius Randle, man. How they ran him through. I mean, Julius Randle deserve it, but look how they treated Alfred Payton. Look how they treated various different players throughout the just the last couple of years or so. Even Julius Randle before during the Tibbs era with the spin move and stuff like that. Like
Right.
it's just so cool to bully people. It's like it was one point where it was like a big no bullying campaign, and they had it in schools and stuff.
Right.
But now like the major bullies are the freaking grown-ups online, bullying other grown-ups about various different things,
Because it was way before like the thumbs down and telling us to shut the F up and stuff like that. Like he was getting his wife was getting like death threats before that just because he was having bad games.
Right.
That's what the thumbs down and all that stuff happened. Because of that. Like he was frustrated, you could tell.
Yeah, man. But I mean, these guys, they're not the first. They have to be able to deal with it. All that death threat, that death threat stuff that's been happening. Other teams, I mean, other major players had to deal with that throughout the years and stuff. But like the only problem now is that it's social media, so things can be reported. Things, you can handle people like immediately. Like if I wanted to tell Julius Randle's wife to shut the fuck up, and whatever, I could just do it right now, right on Twitter. Boop, 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 fuck you,
Exactly.
bitch. You know what I'm saying? And then she can hit me back. Yeah, fuck you.
Right. That's the thing is that they can actually see it.
Right.
See, it's different when like back in the day. Like take Patrick Ewing for example. I'm pretty sure everybody didn't love Patrick Ewing. All the years that we lost and stuff, I'm pretty sure everybody blamed him for a time, right?
Right.
So think about what the stuff that he went through and all the letters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
that.
on the flip side, imagine all the stuff he would have saw if it was social media back then, though. It would have been way more stuff. Like it was some of the stuff that, not say, but whether you thought it or said it about Patrick Ewing, a lot of times he didn't even hear it. At this point in time, like in 2022, Julius Randle pretty much hear everything.
Yeah.
Or he can if he wants to.
That's the thing. You could just turn Twitter off. You don't have to keep it on. Take it off your phone.
Too. But it's not just him though, because since it's his wife, like you got to tell her to turn it off. You got to tell your boys to turn it off. You got to tell your family to turn it off. How many people you got to tell to turn off their social media in order for it to not get back to you?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Depending on what it is.
But I mean, his wife definitely needs to stop engaging with these crazy fans because you're gonna go crazy because we go crazy amongst each other.
Right,
I had to block a few people just to stop the conversation because I can't stop. I see stuff and people keep adding me and screenshotting the stuff that I'm saying and the stuff that I'm doing and stuff. So it becomes like a terrorism a little bit. So I just block certain people and then I just I don't delete the app. I just stop messing with it. I turn the notifications off and then I just go on whenever I need to go on for whatever reason.
Right. I can see that, but I don't really get into arguments and stuff online, man. You gotta stop that, man.
Well, I'm telling you, man. This Knicks Twitter is something else.
I
mean,
know.
you're messing with Steph, on Tuesdays, right? Usually you go on on Tuesdays.
I might go on there. I actually might go on her show tonight.
Okay, so you might go on tonight. You got Tuesdays, you got this show too. So I mean, your face is getting out there.
Yeah,
so people are gonna start telling you, "Yo, JERRELL, fuck you," and that Mad Villain picture you in the background there. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna hate on the Mad Villain. Damn.
Yeah, man. That's just the nature of the game. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, that's true.
So as soon as you start getting like a little bit of following, like me, I got a whatever how many followers I got, right? It just gets worse and worse. When I first started, I didn't really have too many. Every once in a while, somebody would send me something, but now every once in a while, every once in a while, this happens a little bit more frequently.
Wow.
Emails and DMs and just random stuff like that, or people will leave me voice messages on the Knicks number that I have. So
word.
Yeah, sometimes people it could be positive. A lot of it is mostly positive though. A lot of
okay.
Yeah, but every once in a while, there's always something else.
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah, that's the nature of the beast, though. So somebody that has a little following like me, I can't even imagine what an NBA basketball player, that makes millions of dollars.
Exactly.
Gets,
It all I guess it depends. Like if you get into the content game, like how famous do you want to be?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the price of fame.
Exactly. How many followers or how many subscribers do you actually want? Because once you get a number of subscribers, you're going to have to probably stop saying some of the stuff that you be saying. Not you personally. I'm just talking about anybody. It all depends on what type of audience you're going for.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, what's the name? Knicks fan TV. They got in trouble for saying something. He's like, "Oh, come on, man! I didn't say. I didn't mean." No, it was something simple, but then he had to keep apologizing.
Mm-hmm.
I think having to do with Julius Randle's wife. I
Yep.
think she got at him about something, and then he had to start apologizing for things that he was saying, that was taken out of context and stuff. So I get it,
Exactly.
I get it. But at the same time, what is the point? What's the point of doing it? Like for me, I have no point. I just like to talk about the Knicks. I don't like Knicks fan TV. I don't, the people per se. I don't have nothing against CP or nothing like that, but I just don't
Hmm.
like your show. What's the name? Nothing but Knicks. I haven't watched that show in a while because sometimes you just gotta you take that out of your mind or just remove yourself from certain things. So I just do things my way that makes
Hmm.
me feel good, and then it is what it is.
That makes sense, especially if you're the type of person that could get your thoughts out. Like you do this show because, like you said, like you pretty much love it and you want to do what you want to do. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't get their thoughts out and come up with all of this and have a show on their own. So you got to congratulate yourself for stuff like that. Like everybody can't do this.
Yeah, not everybody can't do it. Some people are naturals at it, but some people, it could be very stressful. Not for nothing. It's a
Hmm.
job. After a while, you do it for so long, whatever. It's a job. You're always trying to figure out a different way to do stuff, trying to find time.
Yep.
Balancing family life, like you said. We there's so many different things that people don't really realize. They just know they want to tell you to shut the fuck up because you a clown because you think that Frank Ntilikina is going to be an all-star, whatever the hell.
Right, right, right. Especially if you're going to make content about the Knicks, right? You know how many Knicks shows there are now?
Yeah, so it's like
So
a
you're
million of
trying
them.
not to, you're trying to, as a content creator, you're trying to have at least some original ideas. You don't want to just regurgitate the same takes everybody else have said, or maybe some of the stuff you have heard or whatever. You're not trying to bite nobody ideas or
Right.
takes or any type of trades that you heard or something like that. So yeah, a lot of people have to realize this is pretty hard, man. It's pretty tough.
Then also too, like you go on one guy's show and it's like the same eight guys, and then the next show the same eight guys are on that show arguing with
Yep,
each other, and then the next show there's the same eight guys arguing on that show. Like, come on, man.
yep, yep.
You
That's
know?
true. Yeah, I can see why you get how you can get tired of that. Yeah, especially if you're going on the same shows over and over and over again.
Yeah, arguing with the same people, battling each other. But I mean, some people like it. So there's no knock
Hmm.
to anything. Yeah, yeah. Some people would rather hear the banter with just a couple people, like how I do it here. Some people like to hear the jokes that I have to say. Some
Hmm.
the bars that you like to call.
Right, right. See, your superpower is actually you're one of the few people that actually can talk to yourself. That's tough, man. A lot of people do not know how tough that is. Like I've seen a whole show of you. You done a whole hour by yourself.
Yeah.
That's hard, man. A lot of people don't realize it. You probably don't even realize how tough that is. But think about it. How many times do you see it?
Well, I wouldn't call it a superpower. I call it something that can be medicated,
Hey, man, it is what it
take pills
is,
to
man.
keep it under control. That you know what I'm saying?
It is what it is, man. But it's just your thing. But everybody don't have that, man. That's a good trait. That's something good.
Yeah. So I mean, Lee wanted to get on, man, but he just DM'd us. He's just having technical difficulties. I think he has a lot of things going on with his stuff. So I just told him, "Yo, try your phone."
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's
That happened with
put your
us on
phone
our
on.
show a couple times. Like one of our hosts couldn't get on. He just tried his phone. And it was fine. But it
Yeah,
all depends.
yeah. That's how simple it is, man. But like we was talking about, like not a lot of people are ready for this, man. So that's a good segue for the NBA draft. The NBA draft is the big thing that's coming. The Knicks got the 11th pick. So I'm gonna actually show NBA draft.net.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was using Tankathon. Tankathon is very simple, but NBA draft.net is a little bit more elaborate and stuff. But they do have a lot more pop-ups and everything. So that's why I really don't like to mess with it. Let me change this background. So what's your thought process now with this 10th pick? I mean 11th pick, excuse me.
At first, I was thinking about center. I know a lot of people have either Jalen Duran or Williams from Duke as our centers. I actually like the center. Us going after center because I'm not sure that we're going to sign Mitch. For the most part, a lot of people want a wing. I can understand that, but I don't know if we do get a wing, who do you want off the team?
That's the thing. That's a lot, a
A
lot of
lot
a
of
lot of
people
stuff
don't
to
want to
swallow.
get to that point. Like they want a wing, like they'll like Johnny Davis or Ben Mathurin or I don't know, just any type of wing that they think we could get at 11 that could play the 2 or the 3. But if you do that, then who do you think that's not going to get minutes for the team? Or in that case, or whoever we pick at 11, are they going to get minutes?
Right. And then the big argument about vets and stuff. State is always talking about vets, but you need vets.
Yep.
You need
That's
vets.
not going anywhere either.
Yeah, you need vets. You need a perfect balance of young people vets and younger vets. Just everything. You need a mix of everything, perfect, just to get a winning culture going on.
Right. Because you got to think about it. Let's name all the wings real quick. You got Fournier, RJ, Alec Burks, Cam,
Quentin Grimes,
Grimes.
Yeah.
I don't count IQ really, even though technically he can be because he can play the 2.
Right.
But for the most part, it's those 5. So out of those 5, to me, Cam is obviously the lowest on the totem pole. So say at 11 we do get somebody like Johnny Davis, then to me, it seemed like either Cam or Grimes would be on the outs then. They won't be getting that many minutes. Or unless Johnny Davis not going to get minutes. Like, they can't give everybody those minutes.
Yeah. That's the problem, too. A lot of people think that, just give him 8 minutes. Just give him 3 minutes. Just give him 5 minutes. It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. That's not how basketball works, man. 5 minutes is it goes like this on a basketball court. There's no way that you can get rhythm playing 5 minutes.
So if somebody like Ben Mathurin get drafted at 11, I don't think we're actually going to get him. I think he's going to get picked higher, but he's probably like my favorite wing in the draft between him and Davis, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
But like to say we get Ben, like where's Ben going to play? And if he does play, he probably will get like spot minutes. It'll be situational, or he might be stuck in the G League, and everybody's going to hate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when people say that they want a wing, how do you expect that wing to play? That's why I don't get. Like they can't answer that.
The question also too, man, like there's a 15-man roster, so you can't carry 8 people, and just have your favorite guys, whatever guys that you want to play. You can't just have 8 guys and then forget about the rest. There's still 7 more dudes that need to be figured out on the roster.
Right. So obviously our number one position of need is point guard. But nobody at that high in the draft at 11, we should be taking at point guard. If anything, it'll be like somebody maybe in the second round. Again, we pick 42. But I don't know. Since there's no point guards, to me it has to be center.
Has to be center. Yeah, for me, it's best player available. Point guard, I agree with you with the point guard stuff. I mean, last year we already drafted a point guard, so we got to believe in our guys. Like quickly, and Deuce McBride, we have to believe in our guys. We drafted them. People seem to like them. Everybody wants to see Deuce play. They think he's really good.
Right.
IQ, a lot of people think IQ could start. A lot of people think he's just a bench guy. But regardless of what people think, these are the guys that we drafted at point guard. Last year was the point guard draft. We drafted Rokas too. Jokibitis, whatever. What I'm saying? So he's another point guard that he could possibly come next year. I doubt it. But
Right.
we drafted enough guards last year, point guards. So we need to start believing in our own players.
Right.
Rather than wasting another draft or another offseason trying to find another point guard when we already have point guards here. What do you think about that statement?
Right. I think you're right. Because you got to think about, like, for me, I'm okay with IQ being our starting point guard next year, especially if we don't bring in somebody like Jalen Brunson or, a couple other point guards that we was talking about, either trade or signing or whatever. But if the team is constructed like it's constructed currently, I do not want Burks as my starting point guard anymore.
Yeah.
Like, IQ has to start next year. If not, something is either going wrong with his development, or I don't even know. Like, it would have to be his fault.
Right.
Unless you just think Tibbs is a madman.
Tibbs is nuts, man. It's really going to be the training camp. We're going to hear training camp, a lot of the interviews and stuff. We got a lot of access with stuff. So it's just like that starting lineup. As soon as the preseason starts and we start to see the lineup that he's going to use, because we only get 4 games, I think, right, in the preseason. So we're gonna know immediately what our starting lineup is. If he has Burke as the starting point guard, it's going to be anarchy It's gonna be freaking anarchy. I don't know how we start the season. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how we get through the player introductions. You know, with that type of thing going on here.
Because you got to think about Rose. Say if he do come back, obviously he's probably healthy now, but how much preseason would Rose play? Like, he's not going to be playing the preseason. If anything, it should be very, very little. So yeah, Alec Burks might mess around and be our starting point guard when at the very first game of the season. It might be.
That's incredible, man.
Never know.
Well, we did talk about roles, so I mean, like as far as the vets, we have like $80-something million worth of vets on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the joke. You know what I'm saying? We got $80-something million worth of vets
right.
on his roster.
Yep. You got to think about don't Rose make like 14?
He make 14, bro.
Right.
Nerlens Noel makes 9.
Nerlens Noel like either 9 or 10, something like that. Yeah. So
9 point something. You know, Burks makes 9 point something.
Right.
Know?
So that right there is like pretty much 40, almost 40 million right on the bench.
Yeah, $34 million you're talking about there, give or take.
Right.
Jesus Christ. You know, and then now you got to add Fournier to that mix. He makes like 17, whatever he makes, right? A lot of people don't want Julius. Julius makes 20, like close to 30, 29, $27 million.
Right. So you got to count. See, at this point, you got to count Mitch too.
And Walker makes 9.
Oh, see, I keep on forgetting about Kemba. Like, I don't even count him, but yeah, you're right. He does count.
He's on the roster, you know?
He's still on the roster, yeah.
Yeah, so he has to be moved. Even if we waive him, he still counts against the cap. If we cut him, he still counted against the cap. So he needs to be moved.
But you got to think about somebody has to be moved regardless.
Yeah.
We're about to draft at 11, right? So if everybody thinking we're not going to trade out of this trade, we're not going to trade out of this pick, who goes? Like, somebody has to go off the roster.
Yeah. Well, Walker definitely. You know, I think everyone's like, "Well, Walker, you dumbass. You know, you're a clown with Walker. Of course, Walker's gonna be the one to go." But how do we get him out of here?
Right. It's not really that easy.
Yeah.
I guess you really could flat out cut him. Like, he doesn't really.
Down to it.
Yeah, it really doesn't. He doesn't make enough money that you can't, I guess. But other than that, yeah, it will have to be Kemba. But how does the team look? Exactly the same, but with a rookie on it. Because you got to think about we know what it looks like without Kemba. He didn't play most of the year. So imagine the same exact team, but with the 11th pick on it, regardless of who the 11th pick is. Because, okay, say if let's do this. Say if Mitch goes and we draft the center. So it's the same team, but with like Doran or Williams on it. Where we going?
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
you know,
like, where we going?
I kind of like Durant. I like his energy. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Only thing with him, see, that was initially my pick, and I think last week I said that should be our pick. Only thing with him, he has a problem with length, probably.
Right. Because
he went up against Chet. They Memphis played Gonzaga, and I remember that game. He didn't do good at all against Chet. And everybody, that's why I don't like when people say Chet like too small or too frail or whatever. Like, Jalen Duran is 6'11", 255 pounds or something like that. Right. He couldn't move Chet out the way.
Right.
And Chet is less than 200. It's a reason for that. Like, he's way stronger than he looks.
And then, you know, shout out to State too. State was saying that, look at the playoffs now, which is true. Look at the playoffs now. Who are the starting centers out there? You know, on the West and the East. There's no centers. You know, the Celtics. Right. Like, I think their centers like 6'9". You know,
except for Bam.
Yeah, but Bam is short too. Bam is about 6'9". You know, maybe 6'10", maybe.
True.
He's a short guy. You know, and then you know they play a lot of small ball. All the teams play small ball. That's left.
But then you got Williams. From Duke, he bought 7 foot, but he got like a 7'6.5" wingspan.
Yeah,
like, he's a lot bigger than Doran, but he doesn't have the same offensive type of game as Doran. But he has a little touch around the rim. I think I like him too. So if we go with either one of those, I think I'm straight.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of maybe like a Dale Davis, or maybe not even as good as Dale Davis, but he just You know,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, he got a little touch around the rim, and Dale Davis, could pop a shot not too far away from the basket. You know what I'm saying? Like not, maybe not foul line in, but around that area. He had a good touch around the basket too. Both of the Davis brothers did.
Well, Eric Dampier and Clint Capella, that's what they compare him to. Do you see that?
Eric Dampier?
Yeah.
Maybe not Dampier. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because he's stiff a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember that's how Dampier but Clint Capella makes sense.
Yeah.
Meet HPE Greenlake.
Shut your
Be
ass up.
open and
Yeah, but Clint Capella makes sense. But I think he has a little more. He has more touch than Clint Capella. Like Williams, I think he shoot like around 70% from the foul line. Like he got a touch. Like you could tell he can develop a little jump shot like in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Dorian can too.
But not for nothing, man. Like you mentioned him already. I think that Ben the Mathurin guy, he's starting to grow on me. Because
really
I
like
mean,
him,
you really like him, right?
Mm-hmm. He's my favorite. Yeah, he's probably my favorite wing.
Well, when you click NBA Draft Net, they usually do a good job giving the player comparisons. They compare him to Jason Richardson, and if you watch him, that's what I see. I can't unsee it now, Jason Richardson.
Jason Richardson is weird because seemed like he's a way better shooter than Jason Richardson. But I get that maybe with the athleticism. But Jason Richardson was like a all-time dunker, though. I don't know.
Yeah, but he has a little bit of it. He has a little bit of it. He doesn't get up quite as high as Jason, but just the way that he attacks the rim, he does those Statue of Liberty tomahawk dunks, whatever.
Yep.
He kicks his legs forward when he shoots that three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All you got to do is really get stronger. Other than that, he pretty much has an all-around game. I like the way he shoots.
He'll be really good for our Westchester team, I'll tell you that.
Exactly, because he's not going to get no burn. That's what I'm saying. Like, where is he playing?
Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, shout out to the chat, man. You got Pudge here. Thank you, Pudge. Pudge is one of the he's always there. If he's not in the chat, I feel worried for him, man. So shout out to
Salute.
Yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to Kerry Cox. He was here a little bit earlier. Let me put these guys up here. Kerry Cox, he was saying a couple things. Geraldine, of course.
Yeah, salute.
Yeah, you got the Knicks fan Brazil. Marvin is in the chat. I don't know if he's still there. Raf Diaz as well.
Salute Raf, man. Salute Marvin.
So we was talking about like people that get wrath, on the internet. I don't know how Ralph does it.
Yeah, I be in some of those spaces. Ralph be getting it.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like Ralph has an opinion, and people come in there and they just start ranking on him. But Ralph never gets angry.
Right.
He just sits there. He continues just his argument, and people are calling him all kind of everything. So I mean, but that comes with the territory. Everybody knows who Ralph is.
Yep.
Everybody. Ralph, excuse me, it's not Ralph. It's Raphael. Everybody know who Ralph is. But when he comes in there, he stands his ground. He gives his opinion. He don't give a fuck what you got to say.
That's why I like Rap so much, man. Like, even though, like, a lot of stuff he says, I don't agree with it either. But, I ain't gonna disrespect him over it. Like, it just is what it is. That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
And like you can tell he don't care, and I like that.
Yeah. I mean, people straight up tell him, yo, shut the fuck up, like that. He just, yeah, but,
he's like, yeah, but, I want Tibbs. I think Tibbs should stay.
Yeah.
Right.
It is what it is. It's tough doing this thing here, man. But shout out to everybody. People that have their own show that's trying to do the content stuff, trying to get out there and just get your opinion out, just being in the mix and stuff. Shout out to everybody in this generation, man. This is
word.
When we look back at it, it's gonna be something to be that we were a part of this. It's pretty cool.
You put my little salute to the chat in there. You know what I'm saying? I salute my guys, salute to all the diehards. You know what it is.
Hey, Ralph got some tea here. That did happen though. I think Jason Richardson had an affair with Steve Nash's wife, and I think that's what got him out of there.
Was it Jason Richardson who did that?
I don't know. Somebody did it.
I do remember that story though. Yeah, something about Steve Nash's wife. I forgot it was Jason Richardson though, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Was it Jason Richardson though?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But I do remember something like that happening to the Suns. And that's how they, kind of imploded. But I don't remember if it was Jason Richardson, but if Rap said it was Jason Richardson, that was him.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be Jason Richardson. He seems like kind of a dude.
Yep, just because you won the slam dunk contest, you can take somebody's girl, I guess.
Yeah. No, also too, man, like a lot of the wives, they're always around in the background. So it just leaves a lot of that stuff, to happen. If you're not paying attention, you trust guys where they're supposed to be a teammate, you're trying to be, you're trying to do that whole thing, and then guys are just greasy, doing stuff behind your back and stuff.
Right. Hey, yo, salute the Pudge in the chat. He said we got Grimes. See, that's what I'm talking about. So I like Johnny Davis too.
Yeah.
But if we have Grimes already, drafting Johnny Davis is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. Like, so what do you think they think of Grimes then?
It depends if you believe in him. If you believe in Grimes
Right.
that much that you want him to get the opportunity to play, then we can't draft. We can't draft the wing. So like you said, Jalen Duran is somebody. It makes sense because it seems like Mitchell Robinson don't want to be here. It seems like it. It seems like the Knicks are already prepared to be without him because we got, we have this guy, freaking Nerlens Noel signed already, so he's already here.
Right.
We got Jericho Sims as well. We still got Taj Gibson, who Tibbs believes in. So drafting Jalen, what's the name, Jalen Duran, if he is available, it makes sense for us for
Right.
what we've been doing.
I think
Or
a
the
lot of
2
people
kid.
don't. A lot of people don't want to get center in their head because they really want us to keep Mitch.
Right. Well, we got to do something. Something has to give in this conversation.
I think even if we did keep Mitch, center should still be available. Like, I'm not 100%. Like, I don't like Noel for the team, especially going forward, right? I'm not 100% sure that Sims is the right center, backup center for us either if we keep Mitch going forward.
Yeah.
Because when you want, well, I guess, no, because the two centers in question, if we do keep Mitch, Duran and Williams don't really complement him well, though. They almost do, not the same thing, but, they don't shoot from the outside, so seem like if you're going to keep Mitch, you will want an outside shooting center as a backup, not somebody like Sims.
So the ultimate question is like, do you even keep the pick? Do you trade it now? Do you like
Right. But if they trade it, I would not be mad. Like, I actually do think they might trade it. You got to think about who our GM is now. Like, he's made a move pretty much every draft he's been in, right?
Yeah.
Right. So in the past 3 drafts, we've moved. So I can see us moving again. But the only thing with moving, if it's not for next year and if it's not for a player, so we're moving in the draft to get another player or another draft pick in the same draft.
Right.
So that's 2 rookies we gonna draft now in the first round, or get a first and 2 seconds. I don't know how that's gonna work. It all depends on the deal, I guess.
Right. You also got players like Nikola Jovic. What do you think about that kid? 6'11".
Yeah, cool,
I've been
but
watching.
Isn't he more like a big guard though? We don't need him either.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a big 2 guard.
Yeah,
Like,
6
he's
foot
not like
11 2 guard.
right. He's not. He's like 6'10", 6'11", but he plays like the guard position. Like, he can get away with small forward, obviously, but he's not a big guy. He's not going to help us really. So, like I said, like, if you get him, he'll be a project and go into the G League also, because if you have Cam, you wouldn't need him.
Right. And he's definitely not going to the G League though, because if he has an opportunity to play in Europe, he's going to stay out there the same way.
Exactly.
Same situation with Jokers. So I mean that could be a good thing for us because
Right.
it just gives us somebody in the stash to use maybe in a trade later on.
Mhm.
To trade the rights away for such European player for another guy.
Right.
Some teams like that. A team like Dallas likes that type of thing. Spurs.
True.
Those guys they tend to like to keep the stash players, man. So if you get them first, that's a good little chip for us.
Well, apparently us too, because we got Rokas. We got somebody else I thought that we stashed too. We don't have another player overseas? Or at least somebody that we did have and traded, but we had another player too.
Well, it was a point guard we had. He had like this weird name. He seemed like he was pretty good. We had a couple players that we drafted. We had another French guard that we had drafted a while back.
Mhm.
Another French small forward a few years back that we had.
Right.
But their rights were all traded away.
Right. So I
Yeah,
think we're going to end up trading Rokas too. I don't think he's going to be NBA ready fast enough in order for us to keep him or what to even bring him up.
Right. But I think somebody like Rokas. I think like maybe not next year, but I think maybe the year after. Once we get things settled. I think this year is really going to be about settling the team down, or maybe getting that extra player, or whatever, and hopefully winning. And then that next year, if we try to make a move or prepare the roster to take on some extra talent, then we're gonna need to fill in spots. So then we'll have a spot for a guy like Rokas to just come in, come in
true.
and assume you already have the experience over there overseas. So you'll be able to come here and function, because you have that experience.
That's true, but you're saying like if the vets that we have signed, like by the time they leave, you're saying, like
Yeah,
the year after next.
Yeah, between right now, this off season,
Mhm.
let next year go by, and then next year's off season, preparing for not next season, but the year after, the following season.
Right, right.
Everything will be building up for that. So hopefully,
Mhm.
the Knicks can maneuver to get an extra starter, and then if we enter that second season, if we're like starved for players, then we can bring in those guys over.
Right, right.
You know,
And they did that. You could tell they did that by design, the way they the contract that they signed the vets to.
yeah,
They all drop off pretty much the same year, right?
yeah,
The year that you said, the year after next.
yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible. Me and State always argue, man. I mean, State wants to do a podcast every night. After like sometimes I'm at work or sometimes I got family stuff going on. I just can't do it. But he literally wants to do a pod every single night.
Mhm.
We actually going on a little bit later. We're going to talk about the census and stuff.
Okay.
But it's just a conversation about like who do you like the most? Like we talk about Donovan Mitchell a lot, that, right? Donovan
Mhm.
Mitchell. So I mean, like packaging certain players like Julius Randle for Donovan Mitchell. We argued for like 15 minutes about Julius Randle and Donovan Mitchell because he was just trying to make the point that Julius Randle's not that good, and you was watching it because you kind of settled down the argument. It's just that Julius has value in the league, so you
Right.
can move him to get better.
See, I think a lot of Knicks fans think we could just, I don't know, pawn off Julius Randle just because we don't like him.
Right.
Julius Randle has tons of value in this league.
Yeah.
Whether
4
we like
years,
it or
bro.
not, like much as I, hate just go by stats, a lot of people say the 20, 10, and 5 thing, right?
Mhm.
I it's not like I don't care about stats. 20, 10, and 5 is still 20, 10, and 5 though.
Right.
It still holds value. Yes, he did it on a bad team, but he also did it on a good team last year.
Right.
So that means he could consistently do it. Like he has the talent to do it. So because of that, just because he was a head case for us, that doesn't mean that he's going to be like the head guy and the leader of another team going forward. Like he could be the third wheel on somebody else's team and flourish.
Yeah. And that's what he should. I think everybody's in agreement with that.
Mhm.
Let me just be a dick, because
Okay.
KG, right?
Mhm.
Kevin Garnett.
Mhm.
Kevin Garnett was 2010 and 5 for like what, like 15 years. You know
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
He didn't win every year.
No, he didn't win until he got some Hall of Famers with him.
Right? Or until basically Sam Cassell and Spreewell. He won that year. A couple years he lost, and then
Oh, I thought I meant a championship. You meant like playoffs period? Yeah, he didn't win
Well,
until some vets got there. Yeah, you're right.
well, we got to talk about Minnesota because he won him when he first got to the Boston because they made
Mhm.
trades and stuff.
Mhm.
But just in Minnesota, just the growth there. He didn't always win there. He wasn't in the playoffs every year.
Right.
You know,
Because they
because
got to the Western Conference Finals one year.
yeah, they did. But they also made the lottery a couple times too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
So
true.
not necessarily lottery. I don't have the stats up to really show, but I mean they had a losing seasons.
Yeah, they did because they had Wally Zerbiak. That's why they got him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
forgot what like number he was picked, but he was picked high.
Yeah, definitely a top 10 pick. Wally Zerberg. Wally Zerberg was decent player in the NBA.
Yeah, he was all right. He was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
I
so
can
I
see
mean-
that. But like you said, like Julius Randle has value. We just have to make the right deal because we're not gonna. I see a lot of people saying that we should trade it for like the 7th pick on the Trailblazers.
Mhm.
We're not giving up Julius Randle for just the 7th pick. Like he's worth more than that.
Yeah, it has to be something attached to it.
Right. Like I think people are crazy, man. They think that we're gonna get him for like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich just because we don't like him.
Right.
That has nothing to do with anything. Like he's still a commodity in the league. We have to get him for something, or it's not worth it. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It doesn't really make a lot. He makes a competitive amount of money, $30 million. Him and Donovan Mitchell can be
Right.
traded for each other straight up.
I thought he don't make more. Donovan Mitchell don't make more than that.
Maybe like $1 million or $2 million more, but
Okay.
You got to be within, I think, like 2% or something like that. A certain percentage you got to be within. So like,
Okay.
the trades will go through if they were traded for each other straight up. Of course, a lot of people are not going to agree with that. You would have to like put some moving parts in it, but Utah don't
Mhm.
really have no moving parts to
Right.
add to it.
I can see him working with Utah though,
hmm
because I think him and Rudy Gobert mesh well, especially.
Well, with Julius and Gobert,
Mhm.
yeah, I see it too.
Especially the type of game that Julius Randle likes to play now. He's more of an outside power forward now.
hmm
Yeah, like just like we have Mitch now. Like he fits with a center that doesn't shoot from the outside. It makes sense because he seems like he doesn't want to play down low anymore, unless that's just our offense and that's just Tibbs. Never
Well,
know.
this guy Rudy Gobert, I think that he would you know to me Mitchell. I don't like Mitchell Robinson. That I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
I
be
know
very
that.
nice about it. Mitchell Robinson don't like for all the offensive rebounds he gets, the defensive rebounds. If you can't secure the defensive rebound, man, then you're not playing defense to me.
Right.
Because I mean, I think he averages 4 offensive rebounds and 4 defensive rebounds. A year.
No, it's worse.
It's worse than that.
It's worse than that. Like I think Mitch averaged 8 rebounds and 6 are offensive and 2 are defensive.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like
How could you win like that?
he's definitely top 5 in the league in offensive rebounds, but like in defensive rebounds, he averaged like 2 a game. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. And then a guy like Rudy Gobert also too, like for whatever you think about him, he's not necessarily that good. He's definitely not worth the money and all this, but there's little intangibles that a center like that will bring to your team, like toughness. Like guys are gonna think twice about squaring up. Like
Yep.
Julius Randle standing on an island cursing everybody out. He had nobody with him. Mitchell Robinson was there, but he was standing on the outside watching. Rudy Gobert, he might not fight, but he's still gonna be standing there. He's going to be standing right there in the mix, not backing down. Just the presence alone is enough. We just don't have that.
And plus, because of his, even though he has a lack of offense, just like Mitch do, he's dominant on the defensive end.
Right.
Mitch is good.
Consistently.
Mitch is good on the defensive end. It's a difference.
Right. Or he can be,
Or
right?
he can be at times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a difference when you consistently be a good defender down low compared to, Mitchell Robinson, who give you like maybe 1 or 2 games in a span of 2 weeks. Mitch will give you like 3 good games, maybe.
The only can be that worked for the Knicks was Marcus.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's alright.
Yeah, Marcus. I mean, if Mitchell Robinson was Marcus, then you could talk.
Oh well, yeah. If Mitchell Robinson was Marcus Camby, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right. But I mean, they put up the similar numbers, but there's a difference.
Yeah, it's a completely different the way they play. Yeah, and then Marcus Camby at least had a little Jimmy with him. He can
What?
score.
You talking about condoms?
No,
You talking about scoring where?
nah. He had a little baby jump shot a little bit more than Mitch.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't shoot from the outside or anything. I wouldn't call him no stretch center, but he can shoot compared to Mitch.
Yeah, the 15-footer.
Yeah, he was a little decent. Something that you had to respect a little bit, especially when he was younger.
Yeah, that 15-foot is a lost art. You think, man? I think.
Yeah,
I
that's how
wish
he
guys
scored.
would hit it.
That's how he scored most of his points in the first place. He wasn't like a down low banger like that. He was just tall.
Yeah, put back dunks maybe outside
Yep.
of that. His play in Denver probably was a lot better. Just the way that he fit in with Melo and Kenya Martin, that type of thing. That was a decent team the way they had it set up.
Right. And when he was with who drafted him? Toronto, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like young Camby. I remember young Camby coming out of college, coming out of UMass. Like, I like that Camby. Like when he actually had athleticism before his knees went out.
Right. Playing the fasciitis too, the feet.
Yep. He had a whole bunch of health problems, but young Marcus Camby was nice.
Yeah. So I mean, life goes on. That's the point I tried to make to the certain content creators before I told them to suck my dick on live on their show. I'm just trying to say life goes on. There's so many different players throughout the years. Mitchell Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
RJ Barrett, but there's been so many players throughout the years that we can go by, so many different scenarios, so many different ways to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, the two teams that were in the finals both had decent centers or at least height.
Mhm.
7-footers, 5, 6'10" guys. you know, out there. This year there won't be any 7-footers in the starting lineups. Worth a damn.
Really? Hold on.
But look at Boston. Boston doesn't have a 7-footer.
Right. Yeah.
Miami doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about Dallas, and who's the other team? Dallas and
Golden State.
And Golden State. They don't have a center.
Yeah, I don't know how tall Looney is, but he ain't nobody. Yeah,
He definitely not
right.
7 feet. He's a short dude.
I can see they don't even they're not even using Wiseman.
Yeah, he's healthy.
Think about how good Golden State is. Can you imagine if we had Wiseman? We would kill for James Wiseman right now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something too, like trading the 11th pick for Wiseman or trading the 11th pick for somebody like that. That's an option as well. Trade using like me and State were saying Cole Anthony. A lot of people really did not like that. I was getting a lot of DMs for about that. But
Hold on, the 11th pick for Cole Anthony?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. But with I would do that.
Why
just
would people
for,
be mad at that?
Because for the same reason, like, oh, but we got Quickly. I'd rather have Quickly. I'd rather have Juice do whatever. But the same thing, if we draft Ben and whatever, there's a lot of people to say I would rather keep Quentin Grimes.
But no, if but hold on though. But if Cole Anthony was coming out of this draft, I would draft his ass 11th. What is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Exactly. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I would draft. I like Cole. Cole is nice, man. To be honest, we should have drafted him.
Yeah, we should have. If you look at all the shows during that time, like I think I hate when people do that. I was the only one saying it. That type of thing. I hate being that guy.
I remember those shows though. I have a pretty good memory. I remember who everybody wanted.
Nobody wanted Cole Anthony.
I know. That's why I couldn't get it. See, I'm a Carolina fan, so he went to Carolina for 1 year.
Right.
So I couldn't understand why we didn't want, like, our fans didn't want him.
Well, I have a different relationship with him because he used to play at Malloy, and I live not too far from Malloy. So I actually saw him play in Malloy. Well, actually, Malloy, and he played with Moses Brown. Him and Moses Brown were on the same team in Malloy,
right.
And I seen them both play, and it was like I can't even describe it. It was like two Super Saiyans playing against like a bunch of like it was like an action film with like a whole bunch of guys where they're gonna get killed. That's what it was when you go to those games because they were like so much better than everybody else. It was like retarded.
Cole Anthony was a beast, man. I don't know why people didn't like him. I was thinking maybe because his pops played for us, is just rethinking, living in the past, what his pops can do.
Yeah, but
he don't play like his pops at all, though.
I know he's been better than his dad since he was like in junior high school.
Like I was about to say, like 14.
I would say 12, man.
Yeah, like Cole Anthony as a prospect was better than his dad by far.
Yeah,
but I think that's kind of like how Knicks fans is though, especially when it comes to point guard. We usually don't want. I don't know. It's hard for I guess maybe because we haven't had one in so long. So they think when we do get one, he got to be, Jason Kidd or Magic Johnson, somebody like that.
Right.
Because even Tyrese Halliburton, like we drafted Obi, right? I thought Tyrese Halliburton or Cole Anthony or somebody like that should have been the pick.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like the Obi pick. The Obi pick ain't make no sense at all. Even though we drafted him and we like Obi. But this it has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with his personality, where he grew up and stuff. The Obi pick made absolutely no sense for this roster.
Yeah, I think we just picked like the best player available at that point because he was like high on everyone's draft board. At least not everyone's, like, high on people's draft board. Because I could not see Cleveland skipping on Obi Toppin. When they took the dude that they took, I was like, what are they doing?
Right.
And then they went on to like get all those power forwards on that team anyway.
Mm-hmm. I thought they was going to pick. A lot of people had Obi mocked to them too. So I actually didn't think Obi would actually get to us. But even if he would have got to us, I thought we was actually going to still draft a point guard. I didn't think we were going to draft Obi.
Right.
But when we did, I was like, well, okay. And then, we draft Quickly, obviously, in the same round. I think we moved down, right?
Yeah, we was like wheeling and dealing.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we was going crazy.
Yeah, but the pick was Cole Anthony to me. That was my pick that year.
Yeah, If I'm not mistaken, I think on one of Simmons' mock drafts, I think I might have picked Cole Anthony in one of his mock drafts. I think
Right.
either
I
Cole
never
Anthony or the other guy, the dude that went to Washington, that Demi, whatever his name is,
Who?
Denny somebody,
Danny.
the dude from Europe. I think he played for like the Israeli team.
I don't think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. And Denny somebody.
You say he played for Washington?
Yeah, he played for the Wizards.
Oh,
Avija.
Avia. Yeah. I got you. Small
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah,
I was thinking you meant like a point guard. But yeah, small forward, 6'9", can handle the ball, can play the small forward, power forward. Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked him too.
Yeah, I liked him because of like he had won like back-to-back championships over there. So somebody that had winning experience. He played with Amari, that type of stuff. So I was just looking at it like that.
He had games to him too. If we would have drafted him, I wouldn't have been, because he got picked right after Obi, right? He got picked ninth.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So if he was the pick, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. I would have thought that was a good pick too. Like there was a couple people. To me, the Obi pick didn't make sense, but I wouldn't say like it was a terrible pick. Because I like Obi.
Right.
For the most part, as a player, I think at least at the time, I thought he would be better than what he is now. I think he would have popped a little earlier just because of his age.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate Obi as a talent though.
Well, the manner in which we keep trying to use Obi, throughout the years as a 3-point shooter and whatever, Danny would have been much better in that thing.
Right.
So getting drafted to a certain team, that has to do with fit and how how your game fits with that team.
Right.
So that plays into a big part of it too. So I mean, Obi got drafted to the wrong team probably. Danny probably got drafted to the wrong team. I mean, that happens.
Yeah, I can see that. But with Tibbs, it's tricky because you got to think about it. Because Leon Rose and Tibbs are actually friends. Like they know each other before this, right?
Right.
So they knew what they was getting with Tibbs. So why does it make sense to hire Tibbs but then to draft players that don't fit his system? That's why I can't get over when people say that. It makes sense. It's logical. Yes, it does. Like it seems like they're not picking players that can fit his system, but it does not make sense to do that though, because they know him. Like it's not like they just hired him. They have a relationship with him before the hire,
Right.
so they really know him. So if you really know him, how are you still picking these players that he can't use, or even not just picking them, even the players that he signed?
Yeah.
That don't fit his system.
Well, AJ Griffin, he's Adrian Griffin's son.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So Adrian Griffin, the father, they had like a meeting or whatever. So they asked him about Tibbs and stuff like that. Do you think his son would be good for New York, whatever? So he just mentioned right away that Tom Thibodeau was good at teaching people guys how to be pros. So that stuck out to me. So I feel like the Knicks picked Tom Thibodeau because he wanted to get the organization and the players, on that level. Be professional, be pros.
Now that's my theory. So you're saying that? See, my theory is they drafted him knowing that he's not the coach for the future. Like they drafted him. They hired him because they know that he was going to be a bridge coach.
Yes. Yep. I agree with that. And then they made Johnny Bryant the associate head coach. So. Right. I think they're grooming him to be the coach. At least that's what it looks like right at the moment.
I'll be the last person to say something good or bad about Johnny Bryant. I don't really know that much about him. Like a lot of people talk about, like, say if we do get rid of Tibbs, they want him to be the head coach. How do I know he's going to be good too?
Right. Yeah, you don't, man. Like look at this dude, the guy that Boston has. They're about to go they could possibly go to the finals. Right now they're down. To Miami, but they could possibly be in the finals with a dude that's like a throwaway player. I think the Knicks had him at one point. Him. Yeah, you remember him? He's a throwaway guy. Some dude with an African name.
You can call him a bum. You can call him a bum.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. What I'm saying?
Yeah, he was a bum. I remember him.
Yeah, he was a bum. He went to San Antonio or whatever, and Pop loved him, and then he ended up becoming a coach with him. But he's basically a nobody. But look at him. He's about to possibly coach a NBA Finals team.
Right. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I can't say nothing bad about Johnny Bryant either. I just can't speak on him. But I just hate when everybody keeps saying that he's definitely going to be a good coach. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that. Like he hasn't done it before.
Okay, so
I just hope he is.
All right. Well, the one thing about coaching, right? So I mean, like you got a chance to play semi-pro. You know, you was in the mix. You know, you was playing college football or
Hmm.
whatever the fuck. You know, you play
Hmm.
basketball and everything. So you have a certain feeling about coaching and things of that nature. You
Hmm.
know, ah man, what am I trying to say here? It just like that whole realm. What do you like from your perspective, the coaching thing? What do you think that's supposed to do? You know, as like for a player and for a franchise, what do you think a coach's role for a franchise and players are?
See, I think it depends on the franchise. It depends on the roster that you're coaching. Also, it's just like it's kind of not like football because I don't know. In football, it's a clean slate, and you just build the roster up, and you I don't know. Depending on if you're offense or defense, how you play is how you coach or whatever.
Right.
But with basketball is a little different because you have to tend to your roster more. At least that's what the good coaches do. Like I don't know. Say Steve Kerr for example, right? He obviously can't coach. Say if he coached the Orlando Magic right now,
Right.
he can obviously not coach the Orlando Magic the same way he does the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
So that's what I think it is. With this team, like we have a young team, so I can see why they hired Tibbs if they knew they were going to have a young team and they hired him strictly for the fundamental stuff, like to be the bridge guy, like you said.
Right.
And then after maybe not even after this year, maybe after next year, say if Tibbs has 2 more seasons with this team, that's when they'll either fire him or do whatever, or he'll like retire or whatever, and then somebody else will come in. But
Right.
by then, our young kids should be seasoned by then. I actually think it's by design. I actually think they hired him to be a bridge coach.
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying. It's making it's arousing me a little. But but
Like you can
I
almost tell, man. Like it's I don't know. You can tell.
Yeah. Well, I was never that good at sports to that degree, like you are. But just for like just watching coaches and stuff.
Hmm.
If you want to talk about tournaments and stuff, there's a lot of street ball coaches. You can go to West Fourth and watch their tournament. There's a lot of dudes with no teeth and wife beaters and with holes in it and stuff like that
Right,
that are
right, right.
coaching like guys that you've seen on TV.
Hmm.
In these tournaments and stuff. These guys are college players. These guys are European players and stuff. But they're sitting there being coached by some dude, like I just said, with no teeth and somebody that probably got to be at work in like 5 minutes and whatever.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing with being a coach, right? Like it really depends on styles and stuff like that. Motivating that you got X and O coaches and stuff like that. But when you're talking about professional, in my opinion, just looking at the game and stuff. When you're talking about a professional coach, people get the concept to me messed up. They're thinking about developing and people motivating and we got to get a coach that's gonna curse them out. Like that's not what it's about.
Not especially not in the NBA.
Yeah, not in the
Not in the,
NBA.
not professional. No.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're like Sim coaches young ladies, he coaches AAU people too, like like
Hmm.
men AAUs, young boys and stuff. So I
Hmm.
mean, like you sometimes you might curse out a dude, or you might just talk to them a certain way because you're trying to like teach them the game. You're trying to teach them the game, teach them the lesson, teach them the right way because
Yep.
you're trying to bring up the basketball game. But once you get to the highest level, there's nowhere to bring. You're there.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's where fans get things mixed up when it comes to coaches and stuff because they keep talking about they want to play the kids and stop playing all these damn vets. But listen, we're at the top with the top level of basketball. This is
Hmm.
this is it. That's why Phil Jackson used to be sitting there with his fingers in his mouth, going like this.
In the special chair with the throne. Remember the throne he had?
Yeah, he had a special chair and everything, man. Just sitting, chilling, sleeping on the bench and stuff. Like because it's pros, it's pro basketball. You have to be able to run whatever sets. You run a set just because you're pros. Everybody's good.
Yep.
Everybody needs to be in a spot. That way you can have some organization going. You know,
Right.
it's not pickup.
I
You
I
know,
think people just I think people are just so I don't know. They just love our young guys so much, but that's just the fandom of New York.
yeah.
Just for the simple fact that most of our guys are young. That's who like most of our fans are going to pan over.
Imagine Joe Blow from like I don't know, from Brighton Beach, is playing in a tournament at West Fourth, and
Mm-hmm.
they're telling he's telling the guys, yeah, man, we're gonna play this guy so we can get him some more experience and get him out there to see what he can do. Could you
Nah.
imagine that shit? This is
No.
basketball. We're trying to win
Right.
a summer tournament. A lot of these guys never
Exactly.
met each other. So listen, you out there playing, you're playing hard. Okay, this is the guy that's gonna finish the game today because he's playing the best today. It doesn't matter if you a named person or if somebody doesn't have experience. I just want to get them out there. None of that matters. But why does it matter on the pro level? That drives me nuts.
I think well, the only reason it would work on the pro level, or to be logical about it, if you're losing at the time, and you want the young kids to just get the minutes to develop, if you know you're going to lose anyway.
Right.
But for the most part, a lot of coaches or a lot of organizations don't think that way, though. Like, as fans, we think that way. That's why, as fans, we could say stuff like tanking and stuff. No coach actually tanks. I
Yeah.
don't think, especially Tibbs. Tibbs is not tanking. Like, tanking is a word for, like, that's front office type stuff to give the coach, like, the type of roster that he can't do nothing but lose games.
Right.
But Tibbs, regardless of what you give him, he's going to try to play the best players that he think that can win, even though it doesn't matter what we think.
Yeah.
That's why
Absolutely.
Burks is the point guard for all season.
Yeah. But good coaches and for all levels is the same way. Like Sim would say it a lot. He's like he's playing the kid, and then you have parents that come up to, yo, I think you should play my son because he's been working hard all summer. He could do this, he could do that. But listen, man, I'm the coach of the team. I'm watching my roster. I watch these guys all the time. I just, in my opinion, that this is not just the way it's gonna go. We're not gonna be able to win that way. We can't
Right.
we can't play the game that way. Or give my son a chance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you
See,
gotta.
but that's the thing, though. I can see that happening because logically, the people that are arguing with Sim, they are parents.
Mhm.
So when it comes to somebody's child, I can see somebody being outlandish or being crazy when it comes to they don't care if the team wins.
Yeah.
They are going to think that their child is the best thing since sliced bread or whatever. But the thing is, when it comes to Knicks fans, none of these players are our children.
Right. Yeah.
So you can argue, but like, how hard are you going to argue over this dude? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
none
Jeff.
of them are our sons, Joe. Like, much as I like RJ, love him to death. If it takes us getting rid of him in order to win,
Mhm.
it just needs to be done. Like, I'm not going to cry over RJ, but for so long. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to win games.
But you say you love him to death, but you're not saying, you're just saying it as like a cliche.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
love him to death.
Cliche.
But people say I love him to death, like
They
I
mean it.
love him to
Right, right, right. They
death.
mean it. Yeah, right, right.
Like that. And how dare you say something about him, you piece of shit? Like, come on, man.
And so, and plus, RJ, I can even see RJ sometimes because he's like I don't know, he's not the savior, but he's the one, like, he's the young dude that got the keys. He's the highest draft pick, right?
Right.
I don't get the connection with Mitch. We have people that are like handcuffed to Mitch, which is cool, but I don't see how Mitch pushes the needle to the point that, like, you have to have him. Like, if we get rid of him, like, you pissed, like, you mad, like, you're gonna argue down that Mitch needs to be here. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't really get that from Mitch. Like, he hasn't done enough for me.
What's the missing thing about that story too is that everyone forgets how we got here. He was drafted in the second round because he didn't play college ball
Right,
and all this, so he was a nobody when we got here. So
right.
kudos to the Knicks for finding a dude that could possibly be a starting center for us for
Hmm.
for this generation here. For whatever. So I mean, people say, oh, the Knicks always mess it up. No, we don't. we
No, we
actually
don't.
don't.
Because Mitch actually definitely have first round talent coming out of high school, but he didn't go. He obviously couldn't go straight to the league.
Mhm.
So I think he signed to a college and ended up never playing.
Yeah, he's never played for them.
Right. And this
Yeah,
is
he was just in
before
the
he can
gym.
go to the G League. I think it was like the year before you can do the G League thing, right?
Right.
So he didn't have any other options other than, like, to play overseas. He just should have just played overseas, but he didn't want to do that.
Right. He was just chilling. He was in some like gym in New Orleans
Yep.
doing sprints all the whole year. You know what I'm saying? He didn't work on his game. We all know that.
Well, obviously, no. For the
That's the
past
thing
four
too.
years.
Yeah, that's the thing too. With all of our picks, not just Mitch, everybody.
Right.
These guys got to get better, man. You like either you want it for yourself or you don't. You know, and a guy like let's say
Yeah.
like a guy like Knox and a guy like Frank, they're both the same kind of guy. They can go and do drills like you would not believe. You
Mhm.
know, they can hit that corner three a million times. Oh, look how great of a shooter he is. Oh, look at this, that, and the other. But you know, it's one thing to be really good at studying and good at tests, but
Mhm.
like to go out there in the field and actually do it, you know, for real, that's a whole different thing.
Right.
You know.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like to bring it to like the work world. So I work for the city. You know, I work with teams. The job that I do, I work with teams every day, and usually I have different people every day. Sometimes, you know, or sometimes I might work with a crew for a little while, right? You know, you can't fake it. Like everybody knows how to do the job, but once you get out there, you cannot fake the job. You know, once you're out there and things are happening, you have to be able to do your job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's what happens with sports. If you can't do your job, guess what? You got to go home, and they're gonna call somebody from somewhere else to come get this job.
Right.
You know,
You,
come take this spot over because this guy don't know what the hell he's doing.
I guess maybe basketball you have a lot of chances though. In other sports you really don't. Like in terms of like football, like we talk about football on this show. So after your rookie season, if you haven't shown anything, they don't care where you got drafted.
Yeah,
Like I've seen first round picks fall off after a year.
yeah,
I've seen first round picks get cut before the year was over. Like at the end of the day, if you don't produce or if you're not helping the team at all, they don't care where you're drafted.
yeah. I keep trying to bring Colin Kaepernick into the conversation, but you know he went to the freaking Super Bowl, man, and then 2 years later the motherfucker is like nowhere. He's never gonna ever work for the NFL again.
That's a different circumstance though.
I guess, but you know,
That's different.
outside of that, you know, we're right there, you know, about to jump out on that shit, right? So just to put our head back in, you know,
Okay.
that happens to players, you know, they come out there, they have a like lightning in the bottle, and the next thing you know, like remember that dude back in the days, whatever, you know, he was
Hmm.
like, you know, the Heisman Trophy winner, you know, or whatever, but you know, Charlie Ward, shout out to Charlie Ward, never played a
Word.
lick of football the rest of his life,
Yep. Yep.
you know, still could
Because
throw
he would
100
have
yards down the field, you know,
he would
but
have been ass when he played football. That's why.
yeah, but he won the Heisman Trophy though.
Different. Completely different level. It's mad. You know what's crazy? A lot of people say Charlie Ward because he ended up not playing at all.
Yeah.
But there's other Heisman Trophy winners didn't play at all either.
Yeah, you're right.
He's just, you know, he just so happened to be one of the most recent ones, and he was a black quarterback. So
Yeah,
it's a little different. Everybody
he's a
talk about
weirdo
like
too.
Eric Crouch. I don't see no Eric Crouch memes going out from Nebraska. Remember the quarterback from Nebraska? What happened
Yeah,
to him?
there's
He
a lot of
moved to
players.
safety in order to get into the league. Like he
Yeah,
just wasn't good.
remember the Giants had the running backs. They were talking about lightning and thunder. And they had what was his
Brandon Jacobs and Bradshaw, them two.
not Bradshaw. There was somebody before Bradshaw. You know what I'm talking about? He had a big old butt.
Big old Ron Dane, not Ron Dane.
Ron was it Ron Dane? I think Ron Dane.
Ron Dane is back. Like I played against him in high school.
Okay,
Big dude went to Wisconsin. He won the Heisman Trophy too.
okay. So I think it was him then, because
Yeah,
I mean
Ron Dane
before,
was he was a beast in high school and college. I played against him in high school.
right? But and in the pros, not so much. You know, then like you
No,
have to like remember. You know, I mean, he played okay. You know
yeah,
what I'm
he was
saying? But you have
okay.
to you have to go back. Oh, Ron Dane?
Right.
Yeah. You know, it's like that. Football is like really, really crazy like that.
Yo, not only did he win the Heisman Trophy at the time when Ron Dane left Wisconsin, he was the all-time leading rusher in NCAA history when he left, and he only played 3 years.
Right.
He was killing.
He was killing, but then he got to the Giants and,
He was
not
okay.
so much.
Like he was average. Like the NFL will humble you.
Yeah.
It's a grown man league. The same thing with the NBA. To go back to basketball, the NBA will humble you too. It's a lot of these dudes that was high school All-Americans that don't make the league. A lot of
They
them,
all
most
were.
of them don't.
They all were. Every single player in the league basically was like Mr. Basketball for their state.
Right.
You know, if they weren't Mr. Basketball, maybe they won the championship, or maybe they were, in the championship game or something like that. Somewhere along their career, they did something
Right.
crazy.
And look at all the, even in college, look at all the like all Americans in college that ended up being garbage in the NBA.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, most of them are. It has nothing to. It's a completely different league, man. It's different speed. You can't. You have to when you're drafting, you have to project. You're basically drafting for potential and where you think that draft pick will go, like projections. You cannot. You're not drafting for what they did. That's how you draft wrong. You can't do that. If that's the case, like the number one scorer in the NCAA would get drafted in the first round every year.
Right.
Regardless of position or whatever. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. There's always one too. There's always one guy that's been like scoring like crazy, and then you look at the stats. The guy's like 5'8". You know what I'm saying? He's playing for some obscure school somewhere, averaging 25 a game.
Speaking of playing against somebody, like in when I was in high school, after my senior year in the NCAA, the leading scorer was like some dude named Charles Johnson. He played for LIU Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He was
That's
like
not
my
some guy,
height.
man.
You
That's
remember
so
him?
whole right there.
You-
He's Brooklyn wise. He's super famous, man. I
that's what
remember
I'm
watching.
saying. So me and you are the same age, like in our our senior year. I think that's when his last year at LIU Brooklyn was.
Yeah.
Because I ended up like playing him in like a pickup game or something like that. Like he was short. He like 6'3". He was a little shorter than me. But he was
Super
nasty. Like he was just quick and you couldn't stay in front of him. But if you go to the league, he couldn't make it.
Right. He went to the Clippers. He tried to do his little thing in the Clippers. I remember he was on the Clippers.
Yep.
But he's one of those guys that thought he was better than he is, but only because it seemed like it at the time.
Yeah, I played against him that one time, but I don't know anything about him personally. Like I didn't meet him. I just played against him. Like I didn't talk to him at all.
But he was talking to you, wasn't he?
No. I didn't have to guard him, but only like one time.
Okay.
I
From what I
never had to
remember,
guard him.
well, I mean, I'm quite sure a lot of basketball fans you seen Soul in the Hole.
Mhm.
Okay, so I mean, he was in Soul in the Hole, so that whole Kenny
Yeah.
is King stuff, whatever. I remember that. I remember being because I'm like we're like right below them,
Okay.
Matter of fact, we were like around the same age, something like that, right?
Yeah, right
You said you
below
played
them.
against him. Yeah, we like
I played against, but like I was younger. Like I think he was a senior in college. I think we were seniors in high school. I think we're like 3-4 years apart.
Yeah, definitely. So I just remember, them playing in the street, whatever. It was like,
Mhm.
like Booger. Shout out to Booger, for the point guard. But to this day, he might be the best point guard I've ever seen in person.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Pros and everything, and like in person, he might have been the best point guard I've ever seen. Man.
That's like I told you, one of the best point guards I've seen in person was Shaheem Holloway. He ended up being the coach for St. Peter's, and now he's coaching what's his name now? Where'd he go? Seton Hall.
Yeah, seeing him.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Booger,
played
I
against him. He was like in person when we were younger. He was little. He's about 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
Couldn't stay in front of him. He was pretty much a blur out on the court.
Yeah, he was nasty, man. But this guy Booger, man, he was like Magic Johnson out there. He looked like
I
Magic
heard.
Johnson, skinny motherfucker. But he was literally like Magic Johnson.
I never seen him play, but I definitely heard about him.
Yeah. Alley oops like crazy, just behind the back. Everything was crazy with him. Everything you saw in the movie, to see it in person for like a couple games watching out there, that was an amazing thing to see there. But it goes to show you, man. There's nice players out there that we could talk about. LA, they always talk about Hook Mitchell and all that stuff.
Right. Chicago.
There's always a player. Yeah.
Chicago seem like they always got like legends that never made the league that they talk about all the time.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make it into the league, there's certain things you have to do. Shout out to Lenny what do you call it? Lenny Cook? Lenny Cook when he was playing against LeBron, he never got better. We just had a team behind him that was hyping him up, and nobody was trying to get him better. Nobody was trying to looking for it. He had nobody to look out for him.
Yo, speaking of that, now you made me remind me something because we talk about like ex-ball players and the last name Cook. You seen what happened? Not what happened, but you seen Omar Cook recently? Remember Omar Cook?
Yeah, he just retired somewhere in
Right.
whatever European team he was in.
Right. He's one of the most respected European point guards out there.
Yeah, still look the same. Big ass head. His head is huge, man.
Big ass nugget. Like it come out on the sides for some reason. But yeah, like Omar Cook, like he was nasty in high school, obviously. Good in college for that 1 year, whatever, St. John's.
Yeah.
And he ended up not making the league.
And he was
Nobody,
gone.
like everybody was shocked when he didn't make the league.
Well, there was 3-point guards, right? There was RJ Barrett,
Yep.
right? RJ Barrett, and then what was the other one? He played
Brown.
for Connecticut. Brown, right?
Brown.
Khalid
Mhm.
Brown or
Mhm.
something like that. Khalid Brown, Khalid.
Something like that. It was Brown, Omar Cook, and Barrett. Yep.
Yeah.
Barrett went to Seton Hall after Shaheem Holloway,
Right.
and
Brown
Omar
went to
Cook went to
he went to UConn.
UConn, and then Omar Cook went to St. John's, right?
Yeah.
Before Eric Barkley, right? Or
Um,
after. They was right, like they were right next to each other though. They weren't
Who's
there
that?
at the same time. Eric Barkley, remember Eric Barkley?
Oh yeah, Eric Barkley. Well, I mean, Eric
He was
Barkley
nice
got
too.
drafted, and then he came the next year.
Right.
Yeah, so they never played with each other. It was like right after each other.
Yep.
Yeah. So
St.
Eric
John's was
Barkley's
getting
right
them
in
back
front of
then.
me, huh?
St. John's was getting them back then. What happened? Felipe Lopez. Who else was there? I forgot the.
There's so
What
many.
was the center he had? What was the center they had? Hamilton.
Yep.
Tall, light skinned dude. Like he
Yeah,
was nice
Hamilton.
too.
Yeah, I forgot his
Yep.
name. He was good. He was like what's the dude Kevin the dude used to play for Atlanta. I forgot his name.
Willis.
Yeah, he was like Kevin Willis, short arms, kind of stuff,
Right,
stubby
right,
kind of
right.
dude, legit 7 feet,
Right,
ugly
right.
motherfucker. God, it's weird, ugly motherfucker. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
he was
but
good.
it's mad. Like we were saying, right? Somebody, Andy said, Zendon Hamilton. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of players in the league that not in the league that we grew up with that was really, really, really good at basketball, but they weren't good to make it to the league. Like there's one reason. That's one reason I'm really scared about Cam. Really scared
Cam?
about Cam, man. Yeah, Cam Reddish. Because like I live in Pennsylvania. I've been watching Cam play since he was in high school. He was he's from Pennsylvania, Mr. Pennsylvania basketball, whatever. So he's been in the paper and people been talking about him ever since he was like basically like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But he's always had the same type of nonchalant attitude with him. It's just, and I don't think it's changing. So much as I like him and like him as a personality, like him as a person, if we did draft Ben McAdoo, right? Or draft Johnny Davis. I kind of feel that that's like writing on the wall that Cam's not gonna be here anymore.
See, that's the crazy thing about this whole thing.
He's the lowest he's the lowest wing on the totem pole. So I would think if anybody's gonna go, they would either trade Cam or something.
Right.
Like
I
they will
agree with
almost have to, unless they really think that whoever they draft, if they do draft a wing at 11, he's definitely not going to play.
I agree with that. I agree with that. If you're gonna get rid of somebody, he's like the easiest, person to get rid of.
Right.
Only
And check out Pudge in the chat. I agree with you. Cam is the most talented person on the team, but that's the point of it. Like he has that much talent, he still can go though.
Yeah.
Because like it's not about talent at this point.
Well, I'm thinking about the St. John's teams, man. They had a dude named Bootsy Thornton. He was
Mhm.
nice.
I remember him.
I don't even think he got drafted. Another guy that actually got drafted by the Knicks was we talk about Artest, but LeVar Postel, remember him?
Yeah, I remember him. Wait, Boosie Thornton got drafted, didn't he? He didn't get drafted? I
He
remember
might have
him
got
in the
drafted.
league, but I don't remember if he got drafted though, but he was definitely in the league.
Bootsy Thornton?
Yeah. Boosie Thornton played in the league a little bit. At least I thought. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
Get me the line. But yeah, I used to like them. St. John's had a lot of players, man.
Yeah, they were really good, man.
We didn't even mention Ron Artest.
Yeah, Ron Artest was nice. That's our era, man. Because Ron Artest is like our age. Our age group there. That
Right.
when they were going to school. That's when we were around that time too.
Yep.
Felipe Lopez. I remember Felipe Lopez. He was like a rock star, man, back in the days. It was crazy. And it was funny too. We didn't have the internet back then. We didn't have social media, but for somehow we used to know stuff. Like people knew who Booger was.
You know why? Magazines. Like Slam magazine back then. At least that's how I used to get all my information when it come to basketball and stuff.
Well, the New York scene, like Skip to My Lou and all these guys, that became famous through AND1 and stuff like that. We knew them in the streets, and it just was weird. Like Future, like the basketball player Future, we knew him in the streets. We just knew him. Like it just word of mouth. People just knew certain people. We just knew guys.
You were right too. He wasn't. Boosie Thornton wasn't drafted.
He wasn't drafted.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I just love that name, Bootsy, man. I wanna be with you. Yeah,
He a couple years
yeah.
older than us. That's why we know him so well. Like he got us by like 2 years.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes down to it, we're older heads according to what they call them, OGs. We're OGs now to these young
Right.
people. So I mean, but being an OG, it kind of means something. You have to listen, man. Look how much history that we have just in basketball. Somebody that's 20 something years old, they're talking about what's happening now, but we're talking about when we were 20 years old.
We
When
seen
we
a
were
lot.
20 something.
You know what it is? I think like as Knicks fans, I think older Knicks fans, a lot of us don't attach. We've seen so much talent come and go.
Yeah.
You was talking about Felipe Lopez, right? How can I be? How do I say this? How do I be like that connected to RJ when I seen Felipe Lopez
Yeah.
not make the league? Because back then, RJ was Felipe Lopez.
Right.
They damn near play alike when you think about it. They have the same intangibles, and Felipe Lopez was a little more athletic.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, so
maybe
I
it's
mean-
drive or whatever. RJ's going to be successful, I think. But yeah, it's kind of hard to have a connection to a lot of these young players when we've seen so many young players come and go in the league when you're like 40-something years old.
Right. Like coming up, like when Eric Barkley and those guys were coming up, and Skip was getting into the league. I don't ever remember having a hard attachment with those guys like that, where I'm
Nope.
ready to kill a motherfucker on the internet over these young guys. That's coming that are in our age group. I don't
Mhm.
remember having like a Tim Thomas and those guys. Tim Thomas probably was like the best guy, coming out of New Jersey and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That whole era. I don't think Vince Carter when he came out, I don't think I ever was like, that crazy about the young guys, even though they were good. The way that the guys go crazy now over these young players. I just don't remember being like that.
I think it's just the era, bro. I
Yeah.
think that's just how people not are taught to act, but we just weren't raised that way to have connections to players like that. We had connections to teams.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I'm a
but
Knicks fan. I don't care who got the jersey on.
Yeah, man. But you know what hurts, man? We the ones that raise these motherfuckers. Our age group.
Yeah, it's our fault. I'm not saying it's their fault.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's our
saying it's
fault.
just the way it is. It's definitely our fault.
Yeah, man.
Even if they're not our sons, they're at least our little brothers that we could have helped raise.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yes, so to all you young motherfuckers that are watching, man, I'm sorry.
I apologize for not raising you right.
Yeah, man.
You should not be going crazy over Obi and RJ.
My son, my oldest son, he's like 19 now. He's me and him got our problems. He's about to be 19. We got our problems and stuff.
Okay.
But I almost knocked his teeth out when he told me when he was like, we was talking about hip hop or whatever, and I was just talking about Wu-Tang, and he was like, yeah. And I'm like looking at him like, you know who Wu-Tang is, right? He's like, nah, never heard of him. I almost knocked all his teeth out. Because I mean, like literally Wu-Tang was
See?
playing in the car. Like,
No,
you
but
don't know
that's
who Wu-Tang
still
is, man?
nah. But that's the thing, though. It's not your fault that he doesn't know Wu-Tang. He really not supposed to know Wu-Tang if he only fucking 19, bro.
I know, but if the parents are playing Wu-Tang like crazy in the crib,
But
and
their
the
last
dad,
album is older than he is, so it don't matter how many times you played it. They're not relevant in music to him.
do you know who the average white man is?
Yeah,
That's all I got to say.
70s band. Yeah,
Right before we were born.
yeah, but yeah, I know who they are. But if you ask me to start, racking off songs, then you might give me a little trouble. Like I'm sure he. Other than that one, see, like I could tell. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure. Like, if he didn't know who Wu-Tang was, he at least heard it in passing. He had to have. It just don't register to them because they don't care about Wu-Tang. They're not supposed to.
But they go on it like Wu-Tang. No, I never heard of him. No, like they
So
really like
nonchalantly,
they
like
going
they're not
so
legends.
hard about it. Like they
Right.
just really just want to pretend like they never actually heard it or seen it or
Yeah, but
no.
forget the Wu-Tang. Like, did you ever ask him about Tribe Called Quest or like Pete Rock and CL Smooth stuff that's actually older than that? He's not gonna know nothing about that either.
Yeah, but then he got a Nirvana shirt. He got Wu-Tang shirts. He got
Oh
all
yeah,
this.
that's the merch. That's different. That's different. Like you don't nobody care about that. You gotta have like a smells like Teen Spirit shirt. He wouldn't even know what the hell that is, but he'll still wear it. That's just merch. That's just merchandise, man.
I get it, man. I get it.
It's just the kids, man. We can't be mad at the kids. We were kids too. We just the older dudes now.
Yeah, sucks, man.
You think?
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's a little bit different, man, because my grandfather used to wear Kangol hats and he used to have on like I can't even describe it, like the old man shirts, you know what I'm
I know what you
saying?
talking about. Like the bowling shirts, like the old.
Yeah, he used to have a bowling shirt on, you know,
Right,
with
right,
like
right.
slacks and freaking shoes and all type of thing. That's how my
Mm,
grandfather was. But looking back, my grandfather was only like 50 something at the time. But when I'm
mm.
50, I'm gonna be looking like you. You know, 50, I'm still gonna be having this hat. I'm not
That's
all of
just
a
our
sudden,
style, though.
yeah. But I mean, he used to wear Old Spice. Nobody wears Old Spice now. Like he used to be like Old Spice,
Yeah,
like
Old
that, you know,
Spice. Remember Brute,
all of that shit.
High Karate, all that old man shit, man.
But the thing I'm trying to say is that like the generations from then and now for them and us when we were kids are seem like they were so far apart. But now we all when Griselda drops, you got 50-year-olds and 18-year-olds both running to the computer so they can hear the new drop.
Right. That's the sweet spot when you can actually make content for everybody just because of, I don't know, they blew up by accident damn near.
Yeah. Or
Boom
like
bap rap
sneakerhead.
is not supposed to, take off like that anymore.
Yeah. Like sneakerheads too. You see guys on them lines, they got guys that are like 48 years old behind a dude that's 16 years old and they're fist fighting over the next Jordan that's gonna come out.
Yeah, at this point, if you're in your 40s and you don't have a plug, I think you should just, you know,
Kill yourself.
yeah, don't kill yourself, but yeah, just leave the sneaker game to other people, man. I'm not a sneakerhead like that, but I know, like, I'm not going to be 40 something years old in like the line. Remember when Madden used to come out and people used to be lined up like
Yeah,
with I'm not doing that shit now at 43 years old, bro.
yeah,
I don't give a damn what kind of video game comes out. You serious? At midnight, you outside waiting for a video game to come out.
yeah. I remember I used to be out there waiting
I used to do
for
it.
clothes too. Waiting for
Yep.
clothes.
Remember, people used to do that with the iPhone.
Yeah.
Phones used to
Sidekicks
come.
too.
Yep. Not even the iPhone. Like mad phones used to come out.
Sidekick.
Yep. Stuff like that. People used to be lined up like at midnight. They getting it. Like that's crazy. Like I can't see that. Like the internet age has changed now. For all the old dudes that are all old people who are sneakerheads, you need a plug. Get a
Yeah.
plug or don't be in the game.
Yeah, man. You know, I think we can apply that message to this conversation, just to sports and stuff like that. You need a plug, man. Like if you don't know, if you are just gonna be talking and arguing about RJ, how this, that, and the other, he's only 21, this, that, and the other. Listen, man, you need a plug. You know, go talk to your dad. You know what I'm saying? Go
Word.
go call your dad, fam. You know
Word.
what I'm saying? Go call your dad.
See how like the older people that are Knicks fans, see how they feel about RJ.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, they probably would like, you know, not saying that they would trade him just to get rid of him, but if they would trade him or get rid of him in order to help the team that would assure us some type of superstar that's been established or whatever, then yeah.
Yeah. Your shot's talking about Summer Jam. Remember Summer Jam? I think the last time I wanted to go to Summer Jam, freaking like what do you call it? Boot camp click was had a hot
No,
record.
stop.
That might have been like the last time I wanted to go
That
to
could,
Summer Jam.
fam, that's like 92. We was like
Yeah,
13.
I'm telling you.
Last time boot camp click would be at Summer Jam. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have you been? You haven't been to Summer Jam since? Like when the last time you been, or have you ever been?
Nah, I never been. I mean,
Okay.
that's the only time I really was like I used to call trying to get tickets and all that
Yeah,
type
I've
of
been
shit
like
back
3
then.
of those, man.
Yeah.
Man, the late '90s, the mid to late '90s was a beautiful. Like '95 to 2000 was a beautiful time for me. Let's just say that.
Yeah. That was a dope time. You know, like we were the last generation that played outside. You know, and then we
Right.
remember when the internet first kind of popped off, and
Mm-hmm.
so and then we have an attachment to the old school too. You know, it's a big part
Yep.
of how we do things too. You know, the sampling with the music and all this.
Right. Like we remember before the internet, but we remember when the internet got here and it was dial up and chat rooms and AOL
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Remember that, man. We remember MySpace when you was the first time you could upload a music track to your
Yeah.
you could
Black
a
Planet,
music track
though.
to your profile. Black Planet, yes.
Black Planet, you have to be a coder. You have to know coding in order to set up your page, man.
Yep. You had to put on like code patches in order to have like a certain thing, like a design spin on your page and shit like that. I
Yeah,
remember that, man. Those are the good old days.
yeah, man. Well, when it comes down to it, man, we have to do a better job, connecting with the youth, and also too, the youth has to do a better job just listening to what these old heads got to say.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not disrespecting people. I think it's a culture out there. It's a disrespect culture where everybody's just like, they just think it's cool to just say anything they want to people.
Right. Like you ever noticed that most of the NBA players that get like mad at the fans, you ever notice like they're usually not older people that they're yelling at.
Right.
Because the older people are the ones I'm not saying that older people don't be like cursing them out and stuff like that, but it's not the same as some of the young heads.
Yeah. But these young guys, they'll call like they'll use all kind of names, call KD like the F word, whatever, and the KD would turn around and say something. Oh no, bro, just playing, man. I can't get your autograph.
Right.
But that's the world that we live in. That's how that's
Right.
their era. This is their era. This is how they were raised.
That's because trolling could get you attention
Yeah.
more than praise would. So.
Yeah. Look at that chick. Remember that chick? Catch Me Outside.
Right. Yeah.
She
I
just
remember.
bought like some kind of mansion. I heard, or something.
Yeah, that's just because she had a OnlyFans page. That's why.
Right. But still, look at that OnlyFans, and then only people following her because she was on with Jerry Springer one time, or whatever
Jerry
it was.
Springer or Dr. Phil, one of them.
Yeah, or I think it was Jerry Springer's bodyguard. He got a talk show.
Right. Steve.
Yeah. Steve, yeah, he was
I
on
never
Steve
forget
Loco's show.
Steve, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I mean, you can be famous like me, diehard Knicks, freaking I am JERRELL. Next thing you know, you could be like, on a billboard, doing
Right.
something. It only takes but 2 seconds, man.
They gave my man Steve a show, man. Like he just was bald headed with like a polo shirt on every week. That's the only thing he did all week.
Yo, Dr. Phil, you mentioned Dr. Phil. He just hit 20 years on
Really?
the air. Yeah, 20 years.
And he just got famous because he went on Oprah a couple times, right?
Yeah, that's how you went viral. If Oprah, you had to go on Oprah. If Oprah
Yep.
showed your shit, that's how you got famous. Now all you got to do is like, I don't know, shit yourself and slip on your own shit, and next thing you know, you're like famous now.
Yo, Boston is beating the brakes off the Heat.
What's
They
the score?
beating them 18-1, fam.
No way. But I can't get up on that because that first game, Boston was kicking Miami's ass, and then Miami came back and won.
Right. But now, like I said, remember this time, I don't think Jimmy Butler's playing. I don't think Tyler Hero was playing. I think that's part of the reason. So ain't no comeback with them two not playing.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't playing tonight. Let me see if I can get that up.
Unless you think, Victor Oladipo, can actually step up. That's what they got him for, to be honest.
Shit, 21-4. That's what I'm looking at right now.
20. Oh, yeah, now they got 20. I still got 18. You're ahead of me. I got like 3:05 in the first. Jason
Wow.
Tatum got the ball. And I'm guessing that's the three. Yeah, they just scored 21. Like, you're ahead of me.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm saying the Knicks could call next and possibly beat some of these guys, man.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong. Jimmy Butler is playing.
He's playing?
Yeah, I don't know how effective he is, but he's definitely out there. He's playing.
Okay.
Looking a little gingerly with the knee, because he definitely went out last game with a knee injury and didn't finish it.
Right.
So if he's out there, he probably gutting it out, but he ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's wrap it up. We actually talked about a lot, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
to Lee, man. I hope Lee was watching. Lee, man, if your setup is not working, man, you got to go take it down to the phone, man. You know what I'm saying? There go my little boys there. Take it
Oh,
down
that's
to the
what's up.
phone.
So what you about to do, bro? You about to go on state? Go on
Yeah.
state?
Yeah, definitely. 9:30. Me and State are gonna go on.
I actually might go on Steph's show. She actually invited me. She know I'm doing this, but I might hop on over there on MBK.
But State, she's not on now. I think she usually comes on at 8. 8
Yeah, she said I could hop on anytime. Like if she knew I was gonna be on here. I said I don't know what time because we usually run like when Lee's on here. Sometimes he got to duck out at 8.
Right.
So she said like if if the show's still going on, I could just hop on hers.
All right, cool.
But they still going on now. But I don't know. Might not feel like I gotta see. I gotta see, man. Because once you do this on for 2 hours, I gotta play the food in the microwave just waiting for me. I don't know, man. Like how much Ben marketing can I talk about? How much Johnny Davis can I talk about? You know what I'm saying?
But listen, I'm married. I ain't got no food in the microwave, bro.
See,
You know what I'm saying? If I come out the room and I go in the living room, my wife is not even gonna look in my direction. Okay, so that's what goes on in my.
So I guess you're definitely going to be on with State later.
Yep, I'll be on with State.
He said, "Yep, yep, yep."
Yeah, I'm exaggerating. You know
I know,
what I'm saying?
I know.
But that's the stick that I have here going on with the show.
Of course, man. I mean, everything is all good, man.
Yeah.
Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody that came through, man.
Yeah, no
Good.
doubt.
Good talking to y'all. Good hollering at y'all, man.
Yeah, man. Some of these guys here, like Shaw, thank you for coming in at the end, Pudge and stuff like that. Listen, I gotta find the time to do what I have planned to do in my mind. So we'll see. Just stick with me for this week. I'm gonna try a couple things, and we just try to rock out this whole off season to give you guys something to do. Since there's no Knicks happening right now.
Can you still do the calling?
Yeah, I could. I was gonna
Okay.
do it Friday, but Friday I wasn't feeling it Friday, man. And then not yesterday, Saturday I worked 15 hours. I was like, oh my god.
Today I work 12.
Yeah.
I'm up here talking about Johnny Davis. I don't give a damn about no Johnny Davis. Like, yeah, he got a good mid-range game. He's light skinned. He's 6'5". Yeah, he's good.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night, everybody, right?
Oh, man. It's a good show, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, well, Mr. Jarrell, I know you're a regular on States not States. What's the name? Help me out, man.
On Steph Show tomorrow,
Steph
I'm going
Show,
to be
man.
on Dope Soul Sports Talk. I'm going
Yes.
to be on her show every Tuesday at 9.
Yes. Then you're also still doing the bars and shots as well, right?
Yeah, man, it's a little sketchy though, man. We might not come back. It's scheduling issues right now.
Okay.
We'll figure it out though. I'll see.
Well, they got a good group of guys there, man. So I just want to shout those guys out because it's a really good show. I like the personalities on there. So even if the show doesn't, if it fizzles, you guys will pop up somewhere. Because I mean, like you said, you got the bug. I know they got the bug too. So I definitely would want to see, those guys doing something. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
man,
something still comes up with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not stopping, man. Whether I, continue on this show, Steph Show, make my own show, even if I don't do bars and shots, like I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I got you. All right, man. Bye.
Peace, peace.
Yeah, man. I'll see you soon, man.
All right, yeah.
All right, peace.